What's going on, G1? It's Tom the Iron Man here, coming out here with another TexaVlog. Today was a bit of an interesting, less action-packed, jam-packed day, but it was still full of exciting moments. Had to wake up a little bit early because the first thing on the docket was the death battle panel today, which was right at 9:30. And you know what? It was... We didn't really get to bed till about 1:30, so I was already automatically concerned about how I was going to be feeling as soon as I woke up, because I'm still trying to get a handle on things as to figuring out whether the attendance for this is higher or lower than MagFest, and if it is, where are the people? Because everything seems to be filling out and getting full and hitting max capacity, and that's something that I am not used to hearing at any event that I go to. We've hit capacity. We can't let any more people in. That is just so foreign to me as an event goer. But I got in, woke up at 8:15, 8:30, and not feeling great at all. I obviously needed way more sleep than that. And I struggled and managed to get myself together. Skipped shaving today. I don't know if you can really tell, but the shadow is showing, and I'm not a huge fan of that. So it is what it is. Dragged myself down. Was walking over to the ACC. It was about 9 o'clock. And as I was crossing the street to get to the ACC, I heard a couple of guys behind me say they checked on the app and heard that the convention room for the death battle panel was already 75% full. I'm sorry, what? That early that they're having that big of an attendance? And I don't know if my mic is peaking, but the Grimecraft rave is going on right now. Hold on. I don't know if you can hear any of that, but he's spinning those records super, super hard. Grimecraft is cool. Wish DJ Cutman was here to play opposite him on the stage. But Chris, love you long time, buddy. So, it was up on the 3rd floor in room 9. Ran into G1 Hyrulean Shadowcat along the way, and he was able to point me in the right direction. So we were able to get over there relatively quickly, and I was able to get a spot in the back of the room and set up the camera and record the whole thing. And it was a relatively intelligent and thoughtful Q&A session. It started off a little bit early with Shelby delivering breakfast burritos to Nick, Sam, Chad, Ben, and Torian, and they were devouring those things. Those guys were super hungry. So there was a lot less Goku versus Superman questions and a lot more of introspective, thoughtful questions regarding the show, which is always nice because it's been over 2 years since Goku versus Superman 2. I think people are finally starting to move on, but Torian straight up said, you know what, fan base I wouldn't be mad about pissing off is the Naruto fan base because they all suck. So he's throwing stones and doing it deliberate, so if and when a death battle featuring Naruto ever comes to pass, you know who to blame. So a lot of interesting questions. Big Boss Moss, Vinny asked his question, which was a holdover from the death battle cast, which was who would win between Dr. Manhattan and the genie from Aladdin. I think they unofficially settled on Dr. Manhattan because he can literally reshape matter and see into the future. Not to say that the genie couldn't, but that's what their knee-jerk reaction was. So I wouldn't put it past them. That sounds something very reasonable. But, you know, the genie, I don't know if he kind of follows the same thing that what happened with Jafar. If the lamp gets destroyed, does the genie go with it? We don't know. And we don't know if it's the liberated genie from the end of the first Aladdin or if it's, you know, captured genie. Not captured, but binded, I guess would be the right way to say it. I don't know. So they went ahead and showed off a blooper reel from Venom versus Bane. That was pretty good. A lot of silliness in there. And then they went ahead and rolled a new DBX that has not aired as of yet. They were not talking about Mario versus Sonic, not Mario versus Sonic. Actually, they did talk about wanting to remaster Mario versus Sonic, but the DBX that they were talking about, the one that should be coming out, is Mario versus Luigi. They actually showed us the new one that was supposed to go on after that, which was Strider Hero versus Zero. Again, I'm not a huge fan of DBX because it's all up to artist interpretation as to who would win, as opposed to settling on hard research, which is something that I've come to expect, know, and love, which really what makes Death Battle as a concept show work for me. Rather than just, saying this guy would win in a fight and here's the reason why, as opposed to these two are going to fight, but I want this one to win, so I have to make it that way. I don't know. Whatever. People still watch it. People like it. If it's your thing, enjoy it. Support that show in all its capacities. And then at the very end, they showed us a tease for an upcoming Death Battle featuring some very high-profile voice actors, and it was mentioned on Side Scrollers a very, very long time ago that they got it as a question where it was either at A-Kon or A-Fest, some anime convention that they were invited to attend to, and it was McGruff the Crime Dog versus Smokey the Bear. You guys are not prepared. And they've got Blind Ferret Animation Studio animating the entire fight in Flash. So this is going to be a Death Battle first on a couple of different fronts, considering they've got some very, very high-profile voice acting talent, and they've never done a Death Battle in hand-drawn 2D animation Flash before. It's always been either sprite work or 3D models for polygons and stuff like that. So that was really cool, and they were kicking out other ideas in addition to other stuff that they would like to go ahead and do, or redo, I should say. Torian expressed interest about doing Robocop versus the Terminator again, which I would be all in favor of. That was one of my favorite ones from that season, and that season had a lot of good stuff in it too. But there was a couple of things they could have done a lot better. Even Torian admitted the character model that they had for Robocop was a little ganky. But they didn't get the Auto 9 pistol to fire in 3-round bursts. The sound effects for it were completely wrong, and they got Murphy's signature line of "Dead or alive, you're coming with me" wrong. So, there's plenty of opportunity to improve what was already a very good fight. There's a couple of things they can tighten up here or there, but it is what it is, and that's where they're at. So that was it for there, and I really had nothing on the docket until the evening programming. So I took a good hard look at the schedule and really couldn't find anything that actually interested me. So this is the problem with being so disenfranchised with Rooster Teeth as a company as a whole, when this whole expo is in celebration of Rooster Teeth, with not a lot of outside guests. It really leaves G1s like myself kind of out in the cold. I really shouldn't have to do research to have fun at a convention, but apparently I need to. So if I'm going to come back next year, that's something that I'm going to have to do. Because I used to be really big into Rooster Teeth for a long time, specifically Red versus Blue. And when they kind of ended the series after Season 5 for a couple of years, I drifted away and never really found my way back after they started it back up again. So I went ahead and went back to the room, swapped a couple of batteries around for the camera, and took a little bit of a nap while I was offloading the SD card from the previous day's vlogs and panels and all that stuff, because I didn't realize I still had the recording settings set to maximum quality, so it was doing 1080p videos at 24 megabits per second, which the file sizes are ginormous. The picture quality is going to be great. I don't know how much of it's going to translate to YouTube, but they were very big files, and it took almost an hour to go ahead and move everything over. So, oops. you live and you learn. So after we got that done, I decided to go back over to the ACC and actually check out the expo hall and see if there was anything that I may have missed from the previous day, and unfortunately I did. There seems to be only one table in the entire hall that is selling video games at all of the retro variety, and that would be Game Over, and we'll be seeing those guys on Monday, so I politely passed on getting anything from them. They still have that copy of Hybrid Heaven. I'm still on the fence about it. I'll see what's going on Sunday. I would really like to get that boxed up, but for $10, you know, I won't be too broken up if I get that and end up not liking it. I don't think that'll be the case, but, you know, you got to know when to own them and when to fold them. So we're not folding and getting out of Dodge just yet, just trying to figure out what I want to do. So go around the hall, really didn't see anything that jumped out at me. Like I said in the previous vlog, it's all prints and t-shirts and tchotchkes and mugs and stuff. It's really not what I'm there for. And also I really wouldn't have a great easy way of transporting those tchotchkes back without spending for shipping and having the stuff sent out by way of UPS or USPS or something like that. And I am having a really hard, like, I don't know what it is with me and t-shirts, but like $20 is a lot that you can put towards something physical, and investing in a t-shirt outside of it being a very special occasion, asking $15, $20, $25, $30, $35 for a t-shirt is a lot more than I'm willing to pay for. You know, like the thing that I'm wearing right now, I got this at SGC 2013 because it was going to be a one-shot off-print. It was not going to be sold anywhere else, and I wanted to wear it for Mario Party After Dark. So that's how I ended up getting it. So, with that being done and looked at, the only logical thing to do at that point was to go back over to the Third Strike machine and bust some heads. And ran into a couple of G1s that were serving out some punishment that were at SGC last year, back when the arcade was in the JW Marriott. And that was good. And there is the gentleman who was the champ of the tournament last year. He plays Urian, but this other guy, I believe his name was Arthur, put the screws to him, offered to go shake his hand after their match was done, and the guy, you know, looked him in the eye, looked him in the hand, and said, "F you," and walked away. So apparently the line in the sand was drawn, and he wasn't going to be having any of it. So that was crazy. Hung around there for a while. Then Craig and Bolin showed up. Craig, you know, rounded the corner and said, "Who wants to lose at Third Strike? Who wants to lose at Third Strike?" And I was like rubbing my hands together. Like, all right, fine. We're gonna get some really heated stuff. Craig's here finally. And then a whole mob showed up, asking for autographs and everything, which is good for them. You know, it's giving you an indication on how well Game Attack as a brand is doing, that they're having that kind of recognition where they can be spotted out from a crowd, and you know that's good. You know, it helps reaffirm them that what they're doing is what they believed was the right choice to be doing at the time. Whether that pans out for them in the long term, it remains to be seen. But in the short term, they're certainly getting the attention that they feel they deserve. So that's good. Craig was busy signing stuff for a while, but then eventually he did get in line and got up in there and got his turns in, and he went on a streak for a while. And he, you know, came over and said, so tell me what's going on. What's this guy's deal? And I'm like, oh, you know, this is what he's doing. This is what he's been playing. He's been playing Ibuki. He's been playing Dudley. So, oh, Dudley, all right, awesome. You know, and they said, you know, it's been a while since I've played. And I'm like, when's the last time you played? And it's like, last year. And I just looked at him and said, you mean to tell me the last time you played Third Strike was when you and I played Third Strike to close out SGC? And he was like, yep. And I'm like, well, shnikey bits. But that didn't seem to stop Craig at all. He threw off that ring rust damn fast. He did one round at Kuma, lost the other one, went to Ken, won that. Best 2 out of 3 matches. They, you know, not set to rounds, but to matches. And then he just pretty much rode the Akuma train from everything after that. You know, he busted out Deadly for a little bit, but, you know, he was staying strong with the Akuma game. And one big thing that I like about Craig's Akuma is that he's got all the basic bread and butter combos down packed, and does them so effortlessly. It really, again, makes me want to be a better Akuma player when I see people like him and like Chad play it so effortlessly and just know exactly what all that stuff is going on. But the one thing that he does, and he seems to execute it so well, and it connects so often, that makes me want to like figure out how he does it, just to go back and watch it. And I've got like a good like 15 minutes of video of him just beating ass with the camera here, so that's gonna go up at some point too. But the aerial super Hadoken, using the super but like firing it in the air, he's gotten so many people off guard with that. So that was really cool. And then Kristen came over when he was in the midst of changing characters, and she was all like, you know, it's just like riding a bicycle, honey. It's like, yep. And he was like, really like, you know, trying to stay focused and everything. And then Shelby called, and he took the call with Shelby while he was playing, just to show how in tune with the game he was. That was super duper impressive. That was really cool. And then he had to go. He had like an interview or an autograph signing or something like that at like 3:30, so he had to bow out. And I hung around for another hour, walked the hall again, just like, I really feel like I'm missing something. There's got to be something more to the vendor hall than what's there, and I'm clearly not seeing it, so I decided to go and give it another fair shake just to see if there was something else going on. Eventually made my way back to the Third Strike machine, hung out there till about 4:30, and at that point I said I need to go back to the room, I need to get batteries, I need to get water, I need to rest, I need to chill down and conserve my strength, because Mario Party Saturday, I gotta be ready for that. So that's what I did. Went back there, plugged everything in, got my phone charging, got some Ozark water in my system. You know, didn't get a dehydration headache today, so that's good. Ate a couple of granola bars because I didn't think I would be able to get a proper dinner in, and I didn't, but you know, that's okay. You know, I had a fairly decent lunch at P. Terry's, though. I had a jalapeno bacon cheeseburger with fries, and P. Terry's is all right. It's closer to a Whataburger in terms of quality of the beef. The bacon was pretty good. I didn't really taste the jalapenos. I think they were really drowned out by the ketchup and the mustard, which is unfortunate. I guess they were pickled instead of fresh, but you know, there's nothing wrong with a pickled jalapeno if it's done properly, but I really didn't taste any fire. Wasn't too big on the fan of their fries, though. They were cut too thinly, like in between the size of like a shoestring fry from Steak and Shake and like the size of a McDonald's French fry. Was somewhere in between there. It's like if you were to take like a fry that was cut from Five Guys and then cut that in half and then fry it, and it was just, there wasn't enough fry to grab onto. So I inhaled the burger, downed my Dr. Pepper, and pretty much gave all my fries to a hungry pigeon. So hope that pigeon enjoyed that lunch on me, because I wasn't having it. And it was probably the least amount of money that I've spent on a lunch here in Austin so far, which I'm completely okay with. I'll just have to remember next time if I ever get a burger from there. And I don't know if I'd ever go back, but to not worry about fries coming from P. Terry's, because they're not my thing. But, you know, so my time was rapidly coming to a close, because Craig tweeted fairly early in the day saying to come early to Mario Party Saturday. I almost said Mario Party After Dark. That's just how strong that really is, how much of an impact that had as a whole. So anyways, My plan was to chill in the room till about 5:30, head down and get in line by 6. It seems everybody else had that idea. The room would go on to be completely full, max capacity. They had to stop letting people in. And they tried to cram as many people as they possibly could in that room. And I had a couple of pictures that I put up on Twitter and everything. And got in there, and just taking a random guess, through the aid of a couple of other G1s that had already figured it out, there was Wi-Fi in the hotel. And the password was RTX 2017. And doing a quick speed test on there, it was revealed to us that the speeds that they had going were more than adequate to be streamed. I don't know why RTX is not streaming the evening programming. It doesn't make a lick of damn sense. They easily could have done it. They have all these big banners all over the place saying RTX 2017 powered by Twitch. Why are you not streaming this? I don't understand it. It doesn't make a lick of sense at all. So, but that's taking away from the big thing. I got to wear this shirt for the first time ever. I got this for Mario Party After Dark at SGC 2013, and I never got a chance to wear it, and that's the reason why Team Yoshi lost that night. I wasn't wearing this shirt. Revulsive, G1 Revulsive, designed the Mario Party After Dark shirts, and like I said, I never got to wear it, so this is the first time I got to wear it tonight. And it was, of course, you know, continuing the tradition of what was going on for Mario Party Saturday up on the Game Attack channel. Craig as Wario, Bolin as Mario, Sam as Luigi, and Chad as Yoshi. And holy shit, that was quite a match. People were calling privilege on Chad. They should have been calling privilege on Craig. The game handed him 2 stars, mystery blocks. Unbelievable stuff. Sam had 3 stars. He was in the lead for quite possibly the longest. Chad was looking like he was going to get the coin star. Ultimately, in the end, Craig had the most coins for a while, but, you know, like Chad pulled ahead and squeaked by. But it all came down to the supplementary stars at the very end, and Bolin walked away again as the People's Champion. That was... I ain't even mad at how that ended, because this was so hyper-competitive. It was not like the Mario Party After Dark stuff of old, where it was just 4 friends dicking around and dicking each other over. This was like hyper competitive Mario Party. It was savage. So, you know, People's Champ, calling privilege, all that fun stuff. Man, but like I said, it was such a good finish. I wasn't even mad at who won. I was just, and that's what it's all about, is having that kind of crazy shenanigan stuff. So after that, they kicked us out of that room immediately, so Grimecraft could go ahead and set up and get the rave going, which is still going on right now. It actually is supposed to be winding down any minute now. Whether they go and have that go past 1 a.m. is another story altogether. So we decided to go ahead and retire back up to the room and, you know, unwind in the evening. And as I was heading back upstairs, I ran into... no, that actually happened a little bit later. We got back up to the room, and Vinny was playing Time Splitters, and Shelby was going to go down and check out the raid and, you know, try not to bust a dance move so hard that it would cause her knee to blow out. But, you know, she's fine. Everything's cool. That little girl just likes to dance her ass off. So... we're going up there, hanging out for a little while, and Silent Hero had WWE Day of Reckoning, and I noticed it had John Cena as Doctor of Thugonomics, and I was just, for some reason, that character just amuses me so much that I don't know why they decided to saddle John with that gimmick early on in his career, but you know, it just makes me laugh. So he went in and threw that on and went ahead and had a match against I think it was Chris Benoit or something like that, and just beat the holy hell out of him. Silent Heroes just happens to be really good at the wrestling games, and it just also it was funny to point out that it was Ukes was the developer of that. I guess they've done every single WWE wrestling game dating back to the N64 era, which is absolutely mental to think about that they've been doing it for that long. That must be all that company produces at this point. So went that, and then Danger Boy John, he had to go, so I walked him downstairs and then passed Barbara Dunkelman wearing an absolutely dashing red dress. She looked absolutely lovely. But I was going to do the slow clap and say, yeah, B-Dunk, and you know what? She looked like she was in a hurry and just grant her anonymity, so I let her walk. Let her walk like I'm some scary, crazy, popular person on the internet that has an opinion that somehow matters. No, it was a matter of like, I know who she is, let her be alone with herself. Like I said, she looked like she had to be somewhere, so maybe she was going to the rave, although I don't think she'd probably want to go to the rave in that dress. Doesn't look like it'd be very good for dancing in. But then again, what do I know? I don't wear dresses. So John had to go, hung out there with him in the lobby until his wife showed up. Went back upstairs. That's when I ran into Yoshi DCC in there, and he doubled back with us up to the room and played a couple of more games, street passed a little bit more. Shelby had come back from the raid, and it was time to pack it up and call it a night. And that's where we are right now. The only thing that's really left for me to do tomorrow, scheduling-wise, is the Game Attack panel, but that's not until 5:30 in the evening, so maybe we'll sleep in a little bit longer, play in the ACC a little bit longer, and, you know, get set up for the pay-per-view, Great Balls of Fire. So, you know, but that's all tomorrow, and this is today. So, you know, that'll do it for tonight. You know, there we go. There's another TexaVlog there for you, and that's it for Saturday here at the Texas Shindig. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time when we go and check in on that. Good night, everybody.